Let me share something with you guys. You see this place here and the neighborhoods, like the residentials as well around it, they make me depressed. I don't know how many of you guys, may feel this way if you live in a place for a long time and certain areas of that, say, city or county might depress you. For me, it's the lack of human connections, because it's like I've been places where in certain areas you will know that you have your aunt lives here, or this cousin lives there, or a classmate lives here who's a friend of yours. But I've been driving these roads for a long time now. I've been in Miami since the turn of the century, and I don't have any human connections like in these places. So when I come here, you would think, oh my God, if only your home was there. I don't feel that way. I just prefer to go to where my house is. At least my neighbors, we've been in the same place since 2001, since I purchased the house property. So they know me, we say exchange highs, and occasionally, we've exchanged a couple of words. I have one neighbor that I ended up going to her for help when I really needed it, when I had basically not an intruder, but what do they call it? An illegal detainee in my house, and I was feeling miserable, and I actually went to my neighbor. So at least that area feels like home in that sense, because my home is there. That's where I do all my crazy stuff, and the neighbors, they see me, they know my goes and outs. They know when I come home, when I leave, and when I stay for a little while. So even if we don't exchange going to each other's houses, we just exchange hellos, but it's still a place where people actually see my face, they know my face. But in these areas, people don't know me, and I don't have any connection, and that depresses me to come around here. And I can't believe I've been doing this for a long time. I don't know if anybody would feel differently. If you've been living in a city for so long and don't have that community, do you feel that way? Because for me, I grew up in the church, so at least where I grew up, there was always a church community, so there were so many reference points. Even though when I go there now, because I don't know the new generation that has taken over, it is depressing when I go back to the place where I grew up in. So I had connection, but I don't currently necessarily have connection, even though the people may be of some kind of lineage or cousins, or they would call it distant cousin, but it's still not connection. They're not that friendly who wants to go and visit them anyways, basically. So that place also gives me the creeps. Yeah, so it's my sense of being, and I actually, it used to be worse when I first came down here, because I didn't have connection with anything. My job felt like the creeps, and even this job where I'm at right now, when I first got there, even though I had been here for 10 years, I still felt sort of ethereal. I wasn't very well grounded. It took me a while, and it took me finding my grounds in general, connecting with my classmates on Facebook, for me to be able to feel grounded at the job where I'm at the job site. So it's weird, because you would think, oh my God, maybe I could invest here, I could invest there. That was one of the major problems where I couldn't invest, because I wasn't feeling grounded in this place. I'm wondering, is there a place where I would feel grounded? I mean, this feeling actually started when I left New Jersey, because prior to New Jersey, I always felt grounded in places. I always felt grounded, but it happened to be when I went to my father's house. You see, the thing is, when I went to New Jersey in the first place from New York, I had to go to somewhere familiar. So I ended up going to my father's house, even though he was estranged. But his phone calls made me know that I was going to be welcome. So I ended up going there. But by and by, his strange behavior, because I guess he wasn't too comfortable with me since I didn't really grow up with him. When I moved out, he didn't visit, and I started feeling estranged. And when I came here, there was also strange behaviors in the maternal household, which also contributed to my estrangement. But yeah, I guess that was part of it too, for my not feeling, yeah, it's not like the Haitian community down here does not welcome me. It is like they don't. It's not like they do, you know? So all of that makes me feel estranged. I'm not part of any community here. So I don't feel grounded anywhere. So even in the school, it's just the school that I work in. It's not like the school district, like, you know, applauds you. But I guess, you know, if the school districts had helped young teachers, and when you start by letting you maybe work in different, not letting you, by requiring you, like moving you around, not waiting for you to find a school, but moving you around in different schools. Because one of the things that made me feel sort of like occasionally, like, oh, this is free for me, are the workshops. When I go to the workshops, I go to different schools. But the thing is, at the bottom line, it's like, it's not the school that I teach at. So if the school district had strongly encouraged us, made us move around for like the first 3-5 years, I probably would, and in different regions of the district, it would have been a different situation for me when it came to schools. Because the school, one thing that they do make you feel is ownership. Like, they give you a room key. I couldn't believe it. I had my own room key given to me. The sense of ownership that I didn't have as a child, they gave me by letting me know that this room is yours for a whole year. You know, I sort of lost ownership when I purchased this car, because ever since I got this car, I started losing my keys every year. That's been my first year. 2 years I lost my keys. Like, one, I have a room key that is in this car somewhere, and the dealership refused to remove the seats. It's their architectural problem, but anyway, they refused to remove the seats so I could get the key. So yeah, this happened on like the first big break that I ended up going to the school that day, and thank God there were no students, and I grabbed for my keys and it fell, and I never could recover it. And then second year, I was moved from the room where the key was lost and given a new set of keys, in fact, two. And I had kept one in the car because there were two different types of keys. So I needed it occasionally, but nonetheless, I kept one in the car, and I held on to one. Some crazy day, I found a wallet that was given to me by the community college here at the library, and it's a small, tiny little wallet, and I guess it was old. Maybe it was a good 10 years old. And when I had found it while cleaning up my house, I couldn't believe I still had it. I wanted to use it, you know, that antique. Oh well. What ended up happening was that it was sort of like, I guess, bleached. It was white, and I put the key inside happily, both of them. This time I took the one that was in the glove compartment and put it in it, and I ended up carrying both of them. Crazy enough, and these were the only keys that I was carrying all around, because I guess, you know, so that I could have access to my room key. We had a meeting that day, and I guess, I don't know if I was stressed out from the meeting, because I know I had to go to a second job. And I guess sometimes you could be stressed at work, you know, something may just make you a little bit on the edge. So anyways, I felt something like really hard in my pocket, in my pant pocket, and and I pulled it out, and it looked like a crumpled sheet of paper. And I'm like, why is this crumpled sheet of paper so hard? And I didn't even think of going through the crumpled sheet of paper. I guess I was trying to just leave that building, go to my next job, and I just threw away the crumpled sheet of paper, which turned out to be my keys for the room that was last year. So then they intelligently decided not to give me the keys. They did replace the keys. I had the police report due and everything, and they decided not to give me the keys this year, which is a good thing. So I ended up not losing any keys, but nonetheless, prior to this last 2 years, well, now it's last 3 years, because the third year I didn't get any key because I'm in the same room that I crumpled, that I had put the keys in the little tiny crumpled up person. So I ended up having no keys. So 3 years, I guess, I hadn't had that sense of ownership. It's been more like fear. Oh my God, I might lose my keys. And if only I could recover the ones that are in my car. But anyways, I guess I would feel like I undid something, But nonetheless, they have, that was one way that they do give you that sense of ownership, is by giving you your room keys. That first year, it was like wow for me. But nonetheless, the feeling of groundedness, it takes a lot more to psychologically make us feel belong someplace when community is not very welcoming or accepting, or when community is judgmental, and you're somebody like me who's always on a survival mode. So if I'm gonna be around judgmental community, I'm not gonna even try to put myself among them. So yeah, so it's very depressing. I'm like, I don't know, I'm on 103rd now, and no, I don't feel belonged here. I don't feel belonged. It's like, it's not, and I used to feel this way some years back. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where people know troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Cheers. So, I don't know. Where is it that I felt this way? When I was in Gettysburg, I did have like a group of, it was 3, sometimes 5. I guess maximum 5. The people were welcoming in a small college. It was like, people were like always trying to read your brain. I hate that. I hate it. It wasn't about, and if you're going through something you don't want to share, it's like they're trying to just get inside of your head, it's like control you or something. I hated that. So even though it was small and I knew people at Gettysburg, it was the first place that I really had, but it became intoxicating, too toxic for me. It just was too much. I just had to get out of that place. Buffalo was terrible. Buffalo, I dived into doing everything that I can for myself and to fix my community problem, because I was like, this is my chance, because it turned out to be a school where there was a higher Haitian population than I had thought. And I jumped in the group and I became secretary right away, because the secretary had resigned, and I wanted to be just part of everything. And when I first came, I was fresh blood, so it appeared as if they were that community of young Haitian adults were going to be very accepting of me, but I was just so eager to just be in a community. Maybe I was too eager, that I wasn't really taking my time to chill and just let the right people become friends with me. And at the same time, I still had my very protective self, mind you. So I would read things right away and stay away and whatnot. So I still did go for presidency, and I guess it was when I became president. I mean, I more or less was feeling there might be something wrong when I had a play. I had a play while I was secretary, because when on Haitian night I wrote a play that we actually practiced for, but they never came with the props, the stage props, and it was a letdown for me. It was very depressing when they let me down like that by promising me something that they purposely did not deliver. And the year I became president was even the worst, because then I discovered how alone I was in that school and how nobody would do anything for me. And it's so funny, I don't know, like, I guess it was the lack of friendship that made me feel that way, because the reality is they always showed up in the meetings. That was amazing. And that did amaze me. Like, why were they coming to the meetings? But I guess it makes sense. I mean, they were coming for the same reason that I joined the group, you know, to the Haitian camaraderie, to meet each other, to fellowship with each other as Haitians, you know, compatriots. You know, but for me, and then, you know, there I was, you know, and they did a lot of stuff. I mean, they posted flyers when I needed it. 500 members showed up for Haitian night. I mean, and the band played on Haitian night. The band did not put me down. The parties that I had, the band always played. But there was a lack of friendship. There was, despite everything, it was like I was just president. I was just a placeholder, but I didn't have any friends. So I didn't feel at home in Buffalo. I didn't feel that connection in Buffalo. I didn't. So this is it. Here I feel a little better, because to my left is Miami-Dade College, and I worked here, and this was the first place at the math lab that started making me feel grounded. It was the math lab. I got in touch with them in 2012 and started working a couple of years later there, because it wasn't like, I don't know, it was a decision that I was offered in 2012, but I didn't take it until later. And it was a good decision that I took. It wasn't for money, because it doesn't pay at all. It's an embarrassment. But it was like, it's something that I could have done free, just to be among Haitian people, because the lab had a high number of Haitians working in the math lab. They were mathematicians, so all of that made me feel grounded. So that place, I'm feeling more like home up here, because I do have that connection. I know if I go inside of the math lab doing open hours, the manager, or the manager or the supervisor, like whatever title he has, he's always welcoming. He's the one who opened up the job for me. I stayed with him until I started working as a lab technologist. So all of the time that I was studying, I was working at the math lab. So yeah, that place makes me feel better, you know, better. But anyway, so I'm outside now, away from that place in Miami that makes me feel so depressed. Okay, this area is a lot more grounded. So I don't know if anybody has these weird feelings. I'm trying to get the right term. When I was young, I used to say it's ambiance. Like the ambiance of some place makes you feel a certain way, because we have certain feelings, guys, that we get. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I would wake up in the morning and you would feel some kind of way, and the feeling, sometimes you get that kind of feeling, those kinds of feelings, or different ways of feeling, or whatever, when you hear a music. So there's a setting for it. It's a time and a place. And sometimes when you get that, you just want to stay there. I guess they call it nostalgia, but nostalgia may involve actual memories, not just your sense of being. It's a sense of being, right? That it could be melancholic, it could be jovial, and, you know, just, you know, so it could be just all kinds of things. So, but nonetheless, it's a sense of being, and it puts you in a specific setting. And interestingly enough, there are certain senses of beings that I wish would last forever, but they come and go with the setting. So unless you are with the setting and get the nostalgia of what it was when you were in that setting, it's just not there anymore, even though sometimes you want to recover. So I have a sense of being when I'm among people that are accepting. But now, have I found the same acceptance through life? No, I have not. And I think I'm constantly on the search for the acceptance that I had when I was a child in Haiti. I think that is my perpetual search. And I guess it is melancholic, the reality that I never find that again. That I never find it again. Yeah, that's my life search, and this is why I won't accept anything that is offered before me, because my goal is to recreate that sense of freedom, that sense of being, that sense of joy and love all around you. So thanks for the little chat. Have a great day.